Hello. Here we are on Friendship Day, and this is one of the most important things, friendship. And when I talk about friendship-based community activism, that's something that I came to after about 10 years of activism. And I was working with people with whom I had fallen into affinity by accident. Um, I was working at Greenpeace and was collaborating with people that I worked with, or housemates, or friends of friends, people that I had met through different networks. And these days, I'll often collaborate with people that I happen to meet through social networks. And I have found that the potential for conflict and confusion and a lack of efficiency in not just in the getting things done sense, but also in the spiritual, nourishing, community building, feeling like it's meaningful work sense. I feel like that capacity is greatly increased when we choose to work with our friends. It's a lot easier to teach your friend a skill that they want to learn already, that you happen to know, and you need that skill set for you to help with your project. Or they can learn that skill set on their own because they're interested in improving themselves, just like we're all always learning things. It's a lot easier for a friend to learn a new skill set than it is to force a friendship with someone with whom you don't actually already have the potential to be friends with. And so we get into some tricky territory. We get into some hubris and some judgment and some discernment. And there's lots of places you could go with the question about whether or not how you choose your friends. And when we talk about culture and racism and bias, then of course, how we choose our friends is based on a lot of that stuff. And so when we're expanding and trying to eliminate these types of biases or trying to open ourselves to new opportunity and change our patterns and our habits, that is going to have everything to do with who we now choose to create new friendships with. So there's many layers to this inquiry into friendship. And at first it's like, oh yeah, friends, of course, obvious. Yay, I love my friends, moving on. But there's actually so much more to it, because there are the people that you've known your whole life that you consider your friends who don't even really know you at all. And some of whom might even be, frenemies, people who don't lift you up, people who don't belong in your life, except that you have this historical connection that is in the past, which is just a memory. It doesn't even exist anymore. So is that your definition of friendship? Or is a friend someone that you feel a connection with that you might have only known for 10 minutes, but for some reason you trust them, and yet the relationship hasn't been proven and anything could happen, and we've all been betrayed by somebody who we thought was our friend. And later, sometimes we even resolve those conflicts down the road, and those relationships evolve into true, deep, lasting friendships. And that's what I'm talking about here, is that it's connected to the destiny of your vicinity. It's connected to happenstance. It's connected to your ethos and your journey and your path and where you happen to be and where you live and your bioregion and the things that you're interested in. All of this intersects at your friendships. And I love that. I think that's so beautiful. And so today is a day to honor that, the beauty of that accident that is you and your relationship with someone who you really, really deeply value as a friend. And so today I just want you to go through your social media network and pick some people that you value as friends, but who you've never met. That will be exercise number 1. And then exercise number 2 will be to reconnect with someone who you've known for much longer and who you do know in real life that you don't spend enough time with, and to focus the interaction on what they are interested in right now, on what they've been doing lately. Because so often we do have these blinders on with our friendships, and we can be sort of selfish. We can take them for granted, and we can have these interactions that go on the regular, whether they're on social media or whether they are in real life, where sometimes we don't even look at each other. We don't take a moment to just tune in. So today's the day to tune in on friendships, new and old. And then a third thing that might be really useful for you is to do a little bit of pruning, to go through that friends list. Not one of those chaotic, triggered, I'm going to eliminate 100 people from my sphere. Today's not a purge day, but more to very carefully and with dignity step away from a friendship or two that isn't actually a friendship. So if when I mentioned that earlier, something came up for you, if a face came up for you in your mind, then today is a day where I would challenge you to cut that person out of your life or make an effort to resolve whatever it is that causes you to believe that they are your frenemy. Okay? So that should be interesting, and I'll see you tomorrow.